Hello everyone, Tanak here. Welcome to episode 113 of Building My Industrial Empire in EVE Online. Let's start with the progress report. As you can see, my net worth plus that of the corporation is now at 267 billion HISC. Here with the tracker, you can see that there's a significant progression from last week. Again, it's pretty much aside from that anomaly that was one day, which I don't know what happened. This is pretty much a straight line progressing from where we were when we left Geminate. So we were past the point where we were at our top in Pure Blind in terms of ISK. Not much to say. I'm keeping it for posterity's, for continuity's sake, I would say. Here you can see that the progression here was Tanak gained about 1 billion. I managed to rat a little bit this week. I did lose a few two ship I think, but they were SRP ship that I lost. So all in all, not that big a loss to my personal wallet. The company climbed a little bit. Again, I'm keeping that, but Toy Company I don't consider Toy Company my asset. I've always said that since for a while now. It's not like I could go tomorrow and sell WOMP or sell Guns R Us. I could sell some structure, but the cash would go back to the corp because I see mostly myself as the custodian of the group's asset, not as these being my asset here. So I'm keeping that record because I started on day one, and I like the fact that I had this for more than 2 years now. So I do think that it has some value, but it's not, oh, Tanak, you're rich, you got like 267 billion. No, I mean, Tanak liquid ISK is like 52 billion. So anyway, so that's pretty much it for the financial. Now let's go with the HR. You can see that we are now at 422, so that's a +7 character compared to last week. So we're averaging about 1 new character a week. Again, 1 new character doesn't necessarily mean 1 new member. We do sometimes get a person with an alt or 2 that will join the corp with a few alt. But our number are growing, definitely. More people on com, more people on ops. On active in PvP, I think we're at 677 this week. But we didn't have any major fight where a lot of people were involved, so it does show in our number like that. But we do get more people, and again, this is with doing regular cleanup of inactive members. So we have more people coming in, people going out. But overall, it's a trend going up. And again, it doesn't translate necessarily into +7 people in fleet. You can get like 1 guy in EU and 1 guy in NA, and they just don't play exactly at the same time, so it doesn't translate necessarily as directly a straight number of people that you get more in fleet. But overall, it's a good. I mean, we're on a good track because our number are growing week after week. So we got a good look at the trend, generally speaking, and I think that it's a good trend. So that's pretty much it for the HR part. War or combat or whatever part of the show here I'm at. Last time when I talked to you, I think they had ref. Was it the Fortizar? I'm not even sure. I'm losing track of that. I'm losing track a little bit. They had ref a structure in GJO. Which we form up to fight. So that was the Fortizar, the Fortizar armor timer in GJO, where we did form up. Horde came to back fire, So they had 121 on grid. We had more than this, obviously, but the only thing that you see is the people that were actually on dock and fighting. So this was a carrier drop from our side, where we managed to we lost a jump bridge on that station. So they managed to kill a jump bridge. Actually, they managed to kill 2 jump bridge this week because we ranker it and they killed it again. And now it's still anchored. But I mean, whatever, jump bridge or ammo. Anyway, so we did lose a few ship. We destroyed a few more ship, but they didn't kill the fort or they didn't push the timer on that one. So that was the first big fight of the week, but it was mostly a cap fight. So most of the WOM guy were docked up. Aside from that, the rest, Fire did come regularly to try to ref shit, and they managed to push a few timer. They managed to get a few shield timer, a few jump bridge ref. All in all, we did form up a few times. Sometimes they just had too big numbers. So I mean, if you show it, depending on the fleet you have on size, if it's something that look engageable, or at least like a fair fight, you can undock and fight. If they got 120 people on grid against your, let's say, 60 people, sometimes it's for a jump bridge fight. Whatever, kill the jump bridge, I'll pay 800 million. That's it. I mean, at some point you just have to you calculate the cost in that. So they did manage to ref a few stations, including one in QTAC S, which is still ref right now and is push to halt timer. The rest we did form up and fight them off a few times. One of the jump bridge fight was actually pretty silly in GJO, where they came with 120 people to ref the jump bridge initially, and then they came for the kill timer, where we had is it in the battle report here? Yeah, I think that's the one here. So yeah, they came. That's that actual battle. Okay, so you got like 2 fleet, 100 people, and only 1 billion ISK lost each side. So what happened here is they ref the jump bridge the first time on Wednesday, I think. I'm not sure the exact day, but the next day they came for the kill timer with 120 against our 91. We were docking the fort, and we went to grid and bubble the stuff and position ourselves at the jump bridge, and they bat phone Ord to get who came in with I think something like 30 nightmare on top of what they had on grid there. We were on grid watching the jump bridge ref, waiting for them to warp in to watching the jump bridge repair, waiting for them to warp in. They didn't, aside from a few straggler, like the kill that you see here are straggler from both sides. They didn't jump in, so the jump bridge repaired, and we went back to dock to the fort, and then they refed the jump bridge again, like taunting us that we wouldn't fight, but they didn't engage us when we were on grid. So at that point, we didn't undock because we were finished. We want to ref it again, we will do it. So they refed it again, and the next day we were formed again, waiting for them to come for the kill timer, and they didn't show up. So I think that they just like to ref stuff. They didn't. When it's time to go for the kill timer, that they didn't form up. But whatever. I mean, stuff happens. Sometimes you might think that okay, these guys have a bad phone or whatever. It's hard to criticize calls. You're not in their head. You don't have their intel. They don't have your intel. You don't. So you do. Well, you do have spy. You do have stuff like that. But nobody has perfect intel in this game. So sometimes people make weird call. But in this particular case, this seemed particularly weird that they revved the thing twice, but never didn't engage us on the kill timer. like both times. So whatever. Aside from that, well, we did went to one big fight in Curse, where Triumvirate was fighting fire, so we went to assist them with Ishtar, and they had dreads on the they dropped dread. We did manage to score a few dread kill. Personally, that fight didn't go well for me because I had an Ishtar that had plate instead of an overdrive. So I was like trailing behind the fleet and I got shot. So, but I managed to get on one of the dread kill. We did manage to shoot a few, but they did manage to win the score against Try. But for us, we were like coming to assist Try and try to get a few like enemy of my enemy, I would say. Or not even enemy of my enemy, or enemy, whatever. I mean, enemy of my enemy. So they Severance was fighting Try, so we went to assist Try. Again, a big fight that we were in. Pretty interesting battle. It was fun to participate in that one, even though I wasn't very efficient because of my ship fit, which I should always check before undocking, but whatever, stuff happened. So that's pretty much it. Like aside from that, there's obviously a lot of small fight. Personally, I didn't get a super good week. I lost 4 ship. I usually don't lose that much, but again, this is stuff. This was a Sarpede and this was a Sarpede, so I didn't lose that much in wallet. But I'm a little bit smarter than that with my ship. But I did score a dread kill on there, so that's more than worth it for the ISK efficiency. Womp didn't get a super good week, but it wasn't like awful either, like 41% dangerous. So again, we shot a lot more ship than we did. We were efficient ISK-wise, not that efficient in point-wise, but a little under our typical number. Yeah, sometimes you have weeks that are not as optimal, but still pretty good. So that's pretty much it for the war part. Industry, again, pretty standard. Our guys are mining stuff, building stuff. Not much to say here because there's no big change in that area for us. We're still the biggest industrial hub in Catch. Aside from that, what I'm training at Tanak is now at 69 million skill point, even closing to 70. So I'm starting to get to have a few skills now. What I'm training into, I again don't look at what I'm doing for how to smartly invest your skill point. I'm trying to get my ass into a carrier. So I'm just training following the carrier skill plan that we have. I don't expect to be able to fly it often because, well, I'm at core a subcap pilot, and I know you should train your cap on and off because you never get to fly them either way. But I don't want to get the run to account. I just don't like it, so I'm gonna play. I'm a thick skull person, so I'm gonna play the game my way, and I'm gonna train my main to fly cap because Tanak should be able to do everything. So that's the way. That's the way I see it. I know I should put that on a cap alt, but it's just not my style. So I'm gonna go with the way I want it. After all, it's just a game. So that's pretty much it for this week. Again, I'm kind of getting my drive back a little bit. I had like a place was I was like, yeah, like whatever. I was kind of bored with the game, but there was a little more action this week, so that's kind of more motivating to do stuff. To actually, I mean, conflict in a video game is a source of entertainment. So for me, when stuff is happening, it does make the game more interesting. Even because you got stuff to react to, you got stuff to do, which is more interesting. If nothing's happening, then the game is boring. So, and the game was good to us in content this week, especially to me. Some stuff behind the scene politicals and stuff that I can't necessarily disclose right now, but many like a lot of interesting stuff. So anyway, I don't want to ramble too much. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you got any question, just ask. If I'll be happy to answer everything that you want. Again, trying to be as transparent as I can, so you're living the ups and downs of a CEO week after week. So that's what you get when you get here. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy and see you next week. Bye bye.